This is the Krispy Kreme 1 year overview reading for the year of 2023. It's currently November 23rd, 2022, 9:38 a.m. Eastern Time. Krispy Kreme at the time of this reading is currently $15.61, almost 62 cents. So based on the overall theme and behavior, we have for the overall theme and behavior, we have the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through a key support level. That's the overall theme or behavior, and it's crossed with sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend that precedes a decline. When we take that into account, and then the behavior around the highest high for the year 2023, there's a notable decline to a prominent bottom on the 1 year chart that'll stand out. A notable decline off of the high to a prominent bottom or a prominent trough on a 1 year chart. And then behavior around the low for the year, it's the start of a rally that's like on the scale of a multi-year rally kind of deal, or at least like a 1 year chart kind of scale. Sneak preview for the following year, rally that offers the opportunity to open up a short position or sell long positions, protect against long positions. In the grand scheme of things, when we look at the 9 year overview, I'd say that based on this chart, the IPO was in mid-2021, right? So, and then we fell pretty hard from there. The yellow is a correlation to the Princess of Discs, which is a cash-in opportunity, usually at a support level, but not always.
Okay, you want to go down? Go, you can go.
In this case, the yellow correlation was an opportunity to sell at the IPO, basically, after we had that big pop to the upside. And then we have a trough in between 2021 and 2022 that forms from the selling down from near overbought territory. And then we find ourselves in 2022, multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. So we've seen one so far, right? I'd say we've got a rally, based on what I'm seeing, we've got a rally probably into the end of the year where we'll probably test that level again, like the $18, $19 range. And then we'll have a trough like on the cusp of 2022, 2023. We'll probably see several more attempts. Like I think probably we're still in like the multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. You can see how it kind of like carries over into 2023. So I think probably that's what we're going to see is a few attempts at the same resistance, and it would make sense because it looks like there's 3 to 4 major highs, and it looks like at least 3 of them. Excuse me, all 4 of them, it looks like. All 4 of them could be roughly the same price level. Alright, so let's get into it. It looks like there was an opportunity in the end of 2022 to open up a short position or protect against long positions in the midst of a bit of a rally, and there's an important price level that's highlighted in early January after a rally that meets that resistance early January or maybe the end of December, but I would advise not to chase the rally there. It's not time to open up new positions in DNUT. By the end of January, we're going to be we'll see a notable decline, and it looks like that opportunity is short in early January or late December. Probably cash in on that. In the end of January for like a quick trade, or you could hold it to a low that we see probably on the cusp of February, March. Congress is highlighted in February, or on the cusp of January, February. You have to keep in mind, give it like 2 weeks wiggle room. Each one of these cards going horizontally across it represents about 2 weeks of the year. That's the energies aren't going to line up exact every 2 weeks, you know, so you have to give it a little wiggle room here or there, but the sequential order is always going to be exactly the same, and for the most part it'll be right on the ball. But with that said, Congress highlighted it around the end of January, early February, and we do have a bit of a rally correlating to the Chariot card, a rally into an overbought crest or peak towards the end of February, that we have a sell-off from that peak or crest down to a key support. It looks like that key support is really like that low, that first prominent low for the year, and key support there is somewhere right around the cusp of February, March. And then there's, out of that low, there's a notable move higher, successfully turning resistance into new support. It looks like out of that early low that we have in the first week of March, probably there's bullish movement. We have bumping along resistance, breaking through resistance, bumping along resistance, breaking through resistance. There's going to be a breakout there in early March, and then we meet our first prominent high for March, probably the same price level. Based on us being in this multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, my sense is we're probably going to be flirting with this $19 range, 20 range, 19-ish, $19 range throughout the year. Yeah. So we go from a prominent low on the cusp to a prominent high towards the end of the month of March. That's probably our highest high for the year, although the other highs are probably roughly the same level. There's a cash-in opportunity there, so like a long position could be opened around the cusp of after that decline in February from that overbought crest or peak down to a trough and a prominent low for the year, probably the first week of March. A long position could be open there and then close, it looks like, towards the end of March at a high, so that's a quick trade in there. There's going to be a sharp decline off of that high. It'll stand out on a 1-year chart, and then it'll be from overbought territory or near overbought territory as well, and it looks like that sharp decline will take us to another trough in early April. There'll be 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level in early April, confirming a bullish trend, and then we will that bullish trend will take us to a crest towards the end of April or early May. It'll be like sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend, but it'll precede a decline. And by the end of April, there's going to be a peak that stands out where we move higher through resistance. We stay above it briefly. That's resistance on a 1-year chart kind of scale, and then we break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter, making kind of like a triangular kind of peak. And then when we're below that price level, we'll do a U-shaped reversal and come back and reuse that as support. It looks like all that back and forth through the price level will take place towards the end of April. There's a quick high, a quick peak right on the cusp there. It looks like that will not be revisited. It'll be easily missed. A quick peak that'll be easily missed. In other words, we don't hang out at that price level for very long at all. Usually you see like one candlestick there. We may see the same price level around the low May's month's low. We may see a same price level that we had that was highlighted in early January. It could be the same price level around the low for May. And then out of the May low, there's a trade opportunity there. and there's an unexpected move to the upside and towards the end of May or into early June. We have a failed attempt to break through key resistance in early June, and a prominent high in June. Likely that high is either so that move from that big unexpected move to the upside in early May takes us into June. Somewhere in June, there's a failed attempt to break through key resistance at a critical technical price level. Looks like we see that the highest high price level again there in June, when we revisit a crest in the midst of some erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. There's going to be a big move out of the June low to reach that prominent high for the year again. So that puts us at like 2 main prominent highs thus far, and 1 to 2 prominent lows thus far. So it looks like we may be in a channel or in a range here. And I think that high, that June high, is probably towards the end of June. And then from that June high, there's a notable decline through multiple support levels on a 1-year chart, taking us to a low right on the cusp there in the first week, let's say, of July, a prominent trough or low there, and there'll be a big move out of that low to bump up against that same highest high again, and it'll look like we're going to break through that price level this time. Technicals will lead us to believe. So probably like the low that we see around like April, May-ish is probably like the same price level-ish that we see around the low in early July-ish. And it kind of like falsely establishes support so that when we go for this high towards the end of July, we'll expect that we're going to break through, but instead we turn around and we decline through key support. And it looks like that high is at the end of July. Sorry, it looks like that high may even be into August. It's like in the end of July or in August. That high, and there's a notable move out of the July trough to reach that high in August, a notable move to the upside out of oversold territory, or to fill a previous gap down. Sideways S kind of formation where we have a decline, an incline, and a decline within a channel in August, and the August high also. It's marking itself as an opportunity, as a price level that's a good mean point for a straddle or a strangle to play both sides of the market. And I think probably if one's going to do that, they're going to look for that long side to be expiring, like probably leaps expiring out in 2024 somewhere. Or if you buy them at a trough, calls, then you would buy the puts at the crest there, and you'd be playing both sides of the market as well. You can do it that way. Well, in any case, there's an important price level highlighted around August's high, probably in like the 3rd week. Also a prominent high for the year, and there's a big move out of the low, a prominent move higher, followed by a full retracement of that move back down to a prominent low for the year in September. So we like have this trough in July or very early. There's a trough in early July and a trough in late July. And that trough in late July, there's a prominent move higher out of it, and then a full retracement of the move back down. Looks like that full retracement takes place. It starts like on the cusp probably of August, September. We revisit support level in September that was recently a past opportunity. And it looks like that price level, that's probably the year's low there in September when we revisit a support level. So we'll probably have seen it one time before, at least one time before in the year. And that's a price level that's going to be like a year's low, where we revisit in the midst of some sideways rotation. There's a sharp dip in September that brings us to the year's low, revisiting it. It was an opportunity, a recent past opportunity. So usually that's within like 3 months on the scale of a 1-year chart. I'm advised to be cautious around the month's high in September, multiple false tops. And out of that major trough for the year that we see, or that lowest low that we see for the year in September, there's a rally that increases with momentum moving forward into the year, or into the end of the month, and we go from the bottom of a range out of a decline all the way to the top of a range. A notable move there, followed by there's a lot of back and forth going on, followed by another year's high. There's a merger or an agreement between two leaders that's highlighted here in April, and off of that year's high, there's another notable decline to the downside. It looks like it's starting early in October, bringing us back to that low. Either that or it's the same low and it's on the cusp. We could have the same low. These two red stars could be the same low right on the cusp. Yeah, that's probably the case, because this strength card and this lust card are really big moves from the bottom of range usually to the top of a range. So somewhere around like September, October's low, we move to the top of a range, to the top of the range, which is the upper end, the highest high price level again. And then that's along a diagonal trend line that breaks down with a fast sudden move higher, and then it breaks down through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down into the end of October. Well, the decline actually, there's an important support level highlighted on the cusp of October, November, somewhere around there. That's a cash out opportunity, or cash out opportunity. It looks like for a position that would have been opened, a long position that could have been opened at one of the troughs around July. But then that decline, we end up declining through that support level into November, and the decline in November offers an opportunity to open up a long position. Probably that's more of a long-term play for into next year. We'll have to look at 2024 to see how far into there, but that's a good opportunity there to open up a long position. After the decline finishes, there's a fast sudden move higher towards the end of November, marking the end of that decline, and it's a really big move, taking us all the way to the top of the range again. Looks like to the year's high again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we probably see it 5 times. An intentional fake out, shakeout in on the cusp of November, December, more so towards December. There's some sort of connection between the high in December and the end of 2022. Very interesting. But there's a fake out shakeout intended to make us do something impulsive on the part of retail investors there in early December. There's a prominent trough. It won't be like a lowest low, but it'll be a trough that stands out after the last major high that was formed in November. And then there's a fast, sudden move higher to reach the high in the month's high in December. But by the end of December, it looks like we're rotating sideways along a key support. And they're so there's a fast sudden move higher out of a decline. It looks like the fast sudden move higher marking the end of the decline takes place in early December, and that's a fake out because we have probably lower to go. We do towards the end of December, we do a decline through a support level to meet a secondary support level on the scale of a 1 year chart, and then we rotate sideways along that support into the end of the year. There's a lower low. There's the same lowest low or a lower low. So the low in 24 could be the same lowest low as we had in 2023, or it could be a lower low. Is it a lower low or is it the same low? Is the 2024 price level of the low for Krispy Kreme a lower price level than the 2023 low for Krispy Kreme? No. Is it the same price level? No. Okay, well, it's going to be it'll be a prominent low. You know, it may be, matter of fact, it may be that low's further out, and we have this rally beforehand, because again, when we look at that 10 years, so we have these multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, and then we have futility card. It looks like there's probably a little bit of a drop there in 2024, but there's really a big rally that commences in 2024. So let's see if there's a drop, if that full card's a drop. It's kind of like a back and forth, so there'll be a trough in there between 2023 and 2024 in there somewhere, but notable bullish behavior, guys. I would be looking to open up long positions, to hold those long positions until 2025, if I'm just a buy and hold kind of person, or possibly even like buy more in 2027 and sell in 2028 when I foresee there being Krispy Kreme's being acquired by another company. All right, guys, that's Krispy Kreme for the year 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. If you want to see more Krispy Kreme, let me know in the comments. Best way to make sure there's more Krispy Kreme as far as like monthlies is to go to the website tarotfortraders.com and sign up for the 1 month Krispy Kreme. You just specify what ticker you're interested in getting the 1 month, and you'll get it ahead of everybody else. $25 a month, and it really helps to support the channel, my friends. That's what we really need right now, is your support, so we can continue going full force into this. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. All right, well, we basically did the Q&A for price levels during the interpretation, but for those of you that are interested, the actual reading was recorded on October 26, 2022. This is the 1 year overview reading for DNUT throughout the year of 2023. That's Krispy Kreme. It's currently October 25th, 2022, approximately 4:38 p.m. Eastern Time. And current price of shares at the time of this reading, $14.35. Alright guys, so there's quite a few ways that you can help support the channel. This channel really does need your support, my friends. Best way to do it is to go to website. Do this for the holidays, guys. We've been pumping out free content all year. We really need your support. My family has really put a ton into helping me get this thing rolling. And now it's time for me to help my family, but in order for me to do that, I need to be able to take care of myself, and that's the channel. So I'm counting on loyal followers here to help out. You can go to shop now, you can order the ebook, you can get the deck of cards, or even more. What's really helpful, guys, what I'm ideal, and this will guarantee that the stock you're interested in gets done monthly, month after month, not rather than just sporadically, occasional month here and there, is the Eso-Meta forecasts. Basically, just click on here, and you put in the ticker that you're interested in, and that's it, guys. It basically we'll be doing it, and you can cancel anytime, but we'll be doing it every single month. The people that pay for it are going to be getting it at least a week ahead of everybody else, but usually more than that. And if there's no ticker, but you're just interested in getting helping out, there's also these predetermined ones.